It is that time of the year where McDonald's decides to bring back something that really, I don't think many people ask for, but we all rush and get it anyway. The McRib is back at McDonald's, and every year people ask me to try it. I feel like my opinion's never going to change on it, but we did get the McRib. I got a couple of other things that I kind of wanted to try from McDonald's, like their McCrispy sandwich. I've been saying it was cheeks for a long time, but I haven't had it in a while. So maybe it's good this time, maybe I'm wrong. And then I got some frequent fatty points. But I also got one of my favorite things that McDonald's does drop, which is this holiday pie. I love this thing. I also like their pumpkin pie, and I didn't get one this year, which I'm kind of salty about. But anyway, that's what's on the agenda today. Also got a little bit of a mini, and you can't see it in the screen, a little bit of a mini tech review at the end of it. Again, nothing too in-depth, because that's not what this channel is. It's a food channel, but people are enjoying them, so we'll do more. Drop a thumbs up. You guys already know the vibes. Why am I moving my hands so much? Let's get into this video. Okay, so let's do the McRib. Again, they will always make this a limited edition item because I think it just keeps the buzz up for it. But if anybody doesn't know what it is, we will go over it real quick. They put a lot of damn onions on this thing. The McRib is a pressed, funny patty of mystery lunch meat that they used to serve in school lunch with their own special blend of barbecue sauce. It's not their original barbecue sauce. From what I've heard, they're selling the McRib barbecue sauce in like a gallon container that you can buy, but it comes on a long boy roll with onions and pickles, these slivered onions, which again they put way too damn much on this one. I'm actually not the biggest fan of the slivered onions, but you know, it comes on a sandwich, so we did get it. No, I didn't get freaking pickles. What I'm about to say, it's very similar to the Wawa Gobbler. If you didn't watch that video, I basically said the same thing. This is not a good sandwich. The meat, even for a place that serves processed food all over the place, tastes incredibly processed. For me, usually when I get mine, it's incredibly chewy. I do not mind the barbecue sauce, which is a little bit different, but that synthetic pork taste just doesn't do much for me. And then, of course, you have these slivered onions, which, again, these are not appetizing to me, but, you know, I don't mind them. I just think they put too much on this time. And pickles. We all know what pickles are. They're not any different from any McDonald's pickle. And with that being said, I still get it every year. I don't know why. Every year the McRib comes out, I try it. I don't really like it. And then it goes away. And then people start talking about it. I'm like, maybe I'll like it this year. I feel like a Chicago Cubs fan before they won a World Series, where I'm just optimistic it's going to be different, and it never is. I don't like it. Would I eat this if it was on the menu all the time? No. So I understand why, you know, they do what they do. But I'll be honest with you, this is probably the worst version of it. I don't know what it is this year. The meat tastes even more processed than the incredibly processed meat that it was normally, and I can't quite put my finger on it. That's why I keep taking bites of it. But, you know, just look at it. I'd rather you use your breakfast sausage and put it in there like that. So, I don't really like it. I did see in the app, you had the option of adding mustard to it, which enticed me. So, I'm going to do what I normally do, which is use the better version of the mustard, the most underrated thing in the chain condiment game, which is the McDonald's hot mustard, and going with that. That's actually better. Still not worth getting. I'll be honest with you. That I don't get the hype. I don't. But I get why it sells, because I don't like it either, and I buy it every year. It makes no sense. On a fast food scale, I would give the McRib a 4 out of 10. But in case you didn't know, McDonald's also has this holiday pie. The inside is like this, it's like a sugar cookie type of filling. Normally I have more like the sprinkle things on the top, but it's not there this time. Again, I don't really care about that anyway, but let's. I never cared for sugar cookies as a kid. And now that I'm like an old man, I like them even more. You know that flaky, I'm sorry. That flaky pie crust that comes on the apple pie, same idea. But the inside is like a sugar cookie custard. And I just think it's really, really good. I actually bought 2 of these, but I promised I would give one to someone else. You think I'm lying? I should have bought 3. Because I'd have eaten that one too. This is, to me, McDonald's best pie. They have like the guava and the blueberry, and this is my favorite one. I didn't like the cookies and cream one, by the way. But if you like sugar cookies, this is crazy sugar cookie, man. It's absolutely fire to me. Rating this against other fast food desserts, I would give this an 8.5 out of 10. If you're wondering, my favorite pie in fast food is a dead heat between the Jollibee peach mango pie and, believe it or not, the Checkers / Rally's apple pie that I had in the video before. I can't believe how good that damn thing is. But if this was on the menu, I would get that every single time. You can see I devoured the whole thing. No cap in my wrap. Of all the fast food chicken sandwiches that they make, this to me is the worst one. No, I'm not kidding. This is the McDonald's Chicken McCrispy. I got the spicy version. Again, I did a video a long time ago about the Chicken Wars, which I did every single fast food chicken sandwich. I ranked this dead last, and it has never changed. But I want to try it again because there were some people that, you know, when your opinion different, they give you the whole, like, you're tripping thing, which, cool. I just think that the bun is ass. They give you, it's nothing but a chicken sandwich with some pickles and a spicy mayo, but it just doesn't, let's just try it again. Also, why the hell is this bun sweaty? How is it sweating inside this thing? If it doesn't move me, was a chicken sandwich, this would be it. I have had this probably like 6 or 7 times, but let me break it down. The only good thing about this is their spicy mayo, but it's still not as good as about 4 other places. The filet is moderately crispy, but their chicken on the inside compared to every other place is much drier. And the bun is just, I remember it being a lot more stale than this. Now this is almost like, God, this sucks. I tried, man. I tried. I really just don't like this sandwich. Again, but when I say this, I do have to put into context, it is not an inedible sandwich. I just don't know a sandwich at any other fast food chain that I wouldn't pick over this. It's just, I don't know. Does anybody like this sandwich? Can you let me know why you like it? Like, what stands out about it? Again, I like the mayo, but you can get it on a McDouble, and it's 1,000 times better. So that's just my opinion. I did use my points for this, so I didn't pay for it, and I feel bad because I just don't want it. I took one bite of it, but I had to try it again for the one time. I would give this on a fast food chicken sandwich compared to other ones. This gets a 3 out of 10. The only thing going for it is that pepper mayo. That's it. Other than that, yes. Then I got one of these again because I talked about it last time. That I just think it's, I don't know why I like this, the steamed bun and the fillet of fish. But I got it with my mustard on it this time as well. You can get it with whatever. But the fillet of fish just hits for me. And I wanted one. I can't tell you why I like this. People gave me crap. Not all of you. Because I put it in my top 5 McDonald's items. Yeah. Other than the pie. Best thing I've had today. I also got the, what do they call it at McDonald's? The $5 meal deal, the McChicken meal deal. You get 4 nuggets. For people who don't know, you get an order of fries, a McChicken, which to me is still the best chicken sandwich at McDonald's, and a drink. I should divulge, you get a small drink. This is a medium because I got a different meal with it. How the hell did I get this? I don't know. Doesn't matter. But yeah, that's my the $5 meal deal at McDonald's. Now, I think that if you want to get a decent deal in fast food now, the meal deals are probably the best of what it is. That used to cost $4 and change. That's the only difference from the old school dollar menu thing. Was this was on a dollar menu. The value fry was on a dollar menu, which is like a small fry, small drink, and a McChicken all were on a dollar menu. And now it's $5. I think price-wise, competitive-wise, that is fair. Like, if you account for the fact that was 20 years ago, adjusted for normal inflation, adding $1 onto that, I really wouldn't mind. Like if the dollar menu was the $1.25 menu, I don't think people would be pissed off. But it's not. It's the dollar menu. So that's that. I'm going to briefly touch on this as I just kind of dig into my food a little bit. Most of you got the message that I was saying yesterday. I do appreciate that. I don't want this to be this sort of like relationship talk type of thing. It trended towards that way a little bit. I do want to bring back the conversations that we had, and I thank you because the large overwhelming majority of you. I don't give takes just so people can agree with me for sure. But the thing that I want to say thank you for more than anything, there was a lot of comments yesterday. I can count on one hand the amount of people that were like being disrespectful when they said it. Very small percentage. And thank you for that, because most of you get. I'm not trying to ruffle feathers. I'm just giving you my take on things that I don't really necessarily consider like divisive topics. Again, I said it yesterday. I don't want to talk about the divisive topics until people are ready to talk about them. Until that day, we're just yelling at the sun, and that's not my thing. So, I thank you for that. I never claimed to be a guru. I just think that I've had enough experiences at this point that I don't... Let me just put it to you like this. When you see unks, as a lot of y'all young people call me, when you see unks preaching at you, when you see older people preaching at you, and giving you, like, advice, there's two things you got to understand. Number one, every unk was once young. I used to, believe it or not, I used to be a teenager. I know it sounds crazy because I'm not anymore, but I used to be in those shoes. Now, everything that you say as a rebuttal to the old heads, excuse me, we used to say the same things. Right? Times are different. That's not how it is anymore. You wouldn't get... It's not the same. We said it all. Things as far as your teenage experiences, and even people in their early 20s. Your experience might be different from a perspective, but the messages and the tones of the way things go, they never change. Now that I'm old enough, I realize that. People in the 70s and the 60s and the 50s and the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s as teenagers all had the same coming of age BS. Technology might be different, but how it went down was the same thing. That's part one. Part two of this is the old heads are not trying to preach at you to act like they know everything. You've probably heard this before, and I'm going to echo the same thing. The reason you're getting preached at or told these types of things is because they don't want you to make the same mistakes that they did. Because you're going to get to a certain age that you're going to wish that you knew now, or you knew then, I should say, what you know now. You would have moved around a lot differently. You would have operated a lot differently. You wouldn't have taken for granted some of the things that you're taking for granted. That's why you get preached at. Because even if this reaches one person, it's going to make your life a lot easier. There's so many things that you take for granted, and so many things that you think you know. And a lot of old people will say, "Oh, well, you're young, you don't know. You know, you're still figuring it out." It's not an insult. It's just because you're saying you're mature. We all said we're mature for our age, bro. Everybody did. But there's just certain things that come with time and experience, and nothing's ever going to change that. So even if you don't want to hear it, which I get because I didn't want to hear it either. I thought I knew everything too. I used to say the same thing to the older people back then too. Even if you're not going to take the advice, just listen to it, because something might catch on and you'll be like, "Oh, okay, I kind of get that." Because, man, ask any person in here that's late 20s and up if they would have moved differently in their high school and college years. Not necessarily regret. You just would have moved differently if you knew what you did. To a person, they will tell you that. I don't regret anything. I just know that some of the stuff that I stressed about, that some of the stuff that I've cared about, like valued, and some of the stuff that I didn't value, I should have valued. I probably would have listened more in class. I know that sounds crazy, but I probably would have listened more in class. You're there, you might as well. Because, man, when I think about some of that stuff, I'm like, bro, I wish I had those problems again. Sorry, all my PC fans, which I own a top-of-the-line PC. This is the best computer that you can get value for money. With some asterisks, but if you're a person who just uses computers as a daily driver or for light editing and light productivity, this is it right here. This is the new M4 Mac Mini, and it costs $600. And yes, this is the full computer. Obviously, you have to buy a monitor and a mouse and keyboard, but this little thing right here is so powerful for what it costs. I almost regret buying my Mac Studio. I don't regret buying my Mac Studio. But I've used this actually for live streaming. If you're a person who follows or watches my Twitch, I do live streams with like my friends sometimes. This is what does it. So you can stream on OBS with this thing. You can live stream. This is the I/O in the back. It comes with 3 Thunderbolt ports and HDMI. Obviously the 1 gig internet, and that's the power cord. And I tell you that it does everything under the sun at blazing fast speeds. Editing wise, if you're doing like 4K rendering and things like that, it will get the job done. But obviously if you're doing heavy, like using things like Blender and things like that, it's gonna take longer. But if you're a person that just like YouTube, light editing, the first thing I used to edit for my YouTube channel was an M1 Mac Mini. If you don't know, the M1 came out in 2020, and that's what I used to edit my YouTube videos for the first like 2 years of my channel. This is the M4, and it costs $600. The M1 costs $600, but it's light years better. And if you're a person who has an iPhone or anything of that nature, the Apple ecosystem, you all know you can airdrop things to your... That's why I use Mac personally. I know there's a lot of people that say PC is better. For editing, I think personally, productivity and editing, Mac is better than PC. You're a gamer, none of this applies to you. Gaming, PC is king. Don't even bother with this. But if you're a person who does anything else and you just want something that is easy to set up, easy to use, and is integrated with all of your other products and stuff, I would highly advise getting this. And even if you don't want something that costs this expensive, if you buy the older generations at this point, you can get one for about half the price. So what I did for this one, believe it or not, is I took my M1 Mac Mini and I traded it in. I got $200 for it, so this cost me $400. Base model now comes with 16 gigs of RAM and 256 gigabytes of memory. You're still gonna need to buy your own memory, which Apple is notoriously dog crap for. You can buy an SSD or something external, which I do. I actually have a NAS in my house if people want to see that. It's crazy server, but this thing's great. And I don't like recommending things unless I actually truly believe in it and use it. This is probably the best thing. You can get a mini PC for around the same price for sure, but if you're trying to do productivity and stuff like that, this is 1,000 times better. It's super quiet, it's super compact, and the only con that I have of this thing, I don't know why the F Apple does this, and then I'll get out of here. Apple, why did you put the power on the bottom? Like, what the hell why is it here? So when this thing lays flat, this is what it looks like, okay? Just so people understand, this is my hand, and this is a small soda. It is very small. But now, if I want to turn it on, I actually have to lift up the booty and then press the back of the booty right here to get the power. Like, I feel like Apple sometimes does things because they want people to, like, troll them or be annoyed at it. Like, they're trolling you. Because I know the newer version of this that comes out, the M5, whenever that is, the power button will be in the front again. I don't know why it's there. I don't know. But again, 3 Thunderbolt is really, really good. People, if you use Mac, you know Thunderbolt's great. You get an HDMI, or you can use a Thunderbolt and use an Apple display or whatever it is. But I highly, highly recommend it if you want to buy a cheap computer. Again, you can trade in your old Apple products, iPhones, whatever, and then get even more of a discount. It's fantastic. I use this thing to do everything under the sun on my other setup. Again, I have a more powerful Mac Studio, but that's not, it's overkill for what most people are trying to do. So that's my tech review for today. I have a bunch of other stuff. If anybody has something like in particular they want to know about, again, I just have a ton of stuff that I use for productivity and stuff. So if you're curious or you want to know, let me know. I can do requests and stuff like that too. But anyway, that'll be the end of the video. Appreciate y'all. And we'll be back tomorrow. More content. Many hand signs. They made it to YouTube.